Yes, hi everybody. Last week not last week, on Monday we ran a competition in which we were asking who the CAF president, Patrice Motsepe, from which country he is, with the idea, of course, of giving away a t-shirt. And today in studio we have a winner, or rather someone who is coming to pick up the t-shirt for the winner. So here's the t-shirt, and here is the winner of the t-shirt. Maybe he can just say some words, as to who the t-shirt is for, rather.
Okay, thank you for inviting me here to come collect the t-shirt of my brother. My name is Berven Shahuga. I'm just collecting the t-shirt for my brother. Kaupathaniwa Twaire is the winner of the t-shirt.
Yes, thank you very much. So guys, if you watch the show, we run regular competitions where you can walk away with something. So please always do stay tuned. And with that, let's take a short break. And when we get back, we're going to get right into the show. That's your shirt. Yes, with that out of the way, good afternoon and welcome to the Sport Rep Show. For today's show, we highlight the message which the Minister of Sport, Agnes Shongarero, sent to the newly elected president of CAF, which is Patrice Motsepe. We're going to look at the newly elected Namibia Boxing Federation's chairman. We will also look at, just some of the thoughts of one of 3 junior players who have been selected for the Brave Warriors squad. We will look at the women footballers who are getting ready for a friendly against Angola next month. And we will also look at, 1 or 2 reasons as to why the MTC Horse Racing Cup was cancelled. And we will also touch on the sport budget, which was again slashed this year. Not forgetting, in studio today, we have Collin Benjamin, who will of course speak to us about the Hopsol deal that he got with One Africa, as well as the progress that he has made in securing the Khomasdal stadium, or rather the field, to build a world-class football facility. We will also, just pick his mind on his thoughts in regards to the upcoming Guinea match, with the Brave Warriors scheduled to face Guinea. My name is Limba Mupetami. Let's have a look at today's sport pages. Now, as you can see there on the back page, we have sports news. We have covered boxing, football, as well as, the message that the minister has sent to Patrice Motsepe. The Namibian Minister of Sport, Agnes Shongarero, is hoping that Motsepe will unite, the members and, just work on building football in the continent of Africa. She's further said that the African continent really has high hopes that he would provide the much needed leadership that has been missing for, over these couple of years. The Boxing Federation has elected Joel Nungungu as the new chairperson. The Khomas Boxing Federation will have new faces at the top following the resignation of long-serving chairman Jason Naule. Also, the 3 young Warriors players who have now been dropped into the senior squad in the likes of Prince Shweza, Benoa Kanji, and Stephen Damaset are, just that we had a conversation with the players, and one of the players said that the likes of Rian Hanamup, Ananias Gepard, and the likes of Abrosius Pietres, who currently play in his position, he makes him rather fear the fact that he's now called up in the national team, because he will obviously have to wait for a long time before he can fill that position. This player, Kanji, said that he would rather, use the opportunity to learn from the senior players and then wait for his time when he can feature for the Brave Warriors. Also, while we are on the topic of football, not forgetting the Namibian, the senior women, they are preparing to face Angola in a friendly match next month. This will take place between the 7th or the 10th, pending negotiations, or rather final confirmations from the football associations. The tournament, the idea of the tournament is for the women, just to get ready for the COSAFA Women's Championship, as well as the Women's Afcon as well. We all know that the women footballers have, for over a year not have any matches that they have played. So this is actually very good news coming from that side. Also, when it comes to horse racing, the MTC Horse Racing Association, or rather the Namibia Horse Racing Association, the president, when I spoke to him, Martinez de Waal, confirmed that the cup has been put on hold as they're weighing options as to how they can organize the cup with all this COVID, the unpleasantness of COVID and so forth. Now, if you are a horse lover and you have been to these events, you'd always see that it attracts a lot of people. It's very difficult to contain this type of, crowds. So they're still trying to weigh options as to how they can successfully, host this event. So for people who like to watch the likes of Compressor in action, still have to wait a little bit longer because a new date will be announced. So for those of you who would like to, go out to Rehoboth, for instance, and to Okahanja, you should just keep watch of our pages and we will announce when the next date will be set. Now, moving forward, yesterday the sport budget was announced. And the sport budget now stands at $279 million. This is a reduction of about 27 million from the 306 million which the industry received last year. Now, this, of course, is very terrible news, for federations which are already struggling to stay afloat, with the Tokyo Olympic Games also being prepared, and with the Sports Commission also owing athletes reward money and so forth. When the sports budget gets cut, we have numerous times written about how this affects players, but year after year, this continues to happen. But of course, this is also a chance for sponsors, to come on board and support these athletes as well. Now, with that, let's take a break. And then when we return, we will have Collin Benjamin in studio. Yes, welcome, Collin Benjamin, to the show. Is this your first time on the Sport Rep show?
Yeah, and I love it here. Should call me more often.
Fantastic. Okay, getting into the business of things, it has been reported that you have secured a deal with One Africa, where, some of your players, or rather your players, will be featured on One Africa. One Africa has about 2 million viewers. No. One Africa is going to be on DSTV, which is about 20 million viewers. How did this deal come about?
Firstly, before I come on to how the deal came about, is the whole idea on that is exposure and motivation. Exposure in the sense that, we are in this little bubble in Namibia and we've got boys playing, but we also want to show and expose these boys to a greater audience. So somebody wherever in southern SADC can then see these boys and say, wow, Namibia, we just hear Namibia's got talent, but now we can see it. So exposure and motivation. Motivation will be then them knowing that there's this amount of people looking and watching them will motivate them to actually train harder. Because, the motivation of trying to do things yourself all the time, especially in the landscape that we have now, that there was no soccer or football for 2 years, it left people or young people feeling dismayed and feeling like, why are we doing this? So now this is a little window of opportunity for these boys to actually showcase them their talent to a greater audience. How did that come about? I think just, our hustle and bustling around. And yes, it's the greater good of these players. So it's not that, I think it's obviously a milestone that we did something like that. But yes, it's still a lot of work that has to be done, and we're still doing it. And it's basically us creating the content. So we have to have a schedule prepared already in advance that on this and this day, these matches are taking place. They're going to be covered. The content is going to be X, Y, Z. So it is a whole lot of work. It's not just, oh, we've secured the deal, wonderful, now we're sitting. Now actually the real work starts. And One Africa has been really, really great in giving us that spot. It's from now onwards. It started 3 weeks ago. From now on until the league ends in November. So that's a huge platform that we want to take advantage of.
Yeah, I know Hopsol has over the years successfully, having organized these programs and so forth. But it's not always that you have success, It's not always that everything is so positive. What are just maybe some of the challenges that you guys encounter on a weekly basis, on a weekend basis?
The most important one, or the most difficult one, is obviously infrastructure. If it was up to us and everything was equal, we would probably have our schedule already published or given to our members 6 months in advance, but we can't because we're forever fighting for infrastructure, stadiums, venues, and you live in Windhoek, we have a shortage of those. So that's the biggest challenge that we have. Other than that, those are nitty-gritties that I think we've got a competent team that maneuvers their ways around that, and I think we're actually really doing good,
Yeah, talking about facilities, couple of months back, there was conversation or rather positive news that was coming through with the Khomasdal Stadium, Khomasdal field that you're trying to acquire, to build what is called a world-class sporting facility. How is that going?
I like it when you say the world-class facility because I only hear it from you. But yeah, Limba, in all honesty, I don't even think it's funny because sometimes I forget about that. People my age are running around, securing resources to get the G-Wagon and the Range Rover, and I'm running around City of Windhoek officials trying to acquire a field. We don't have it yet. It's been 5 years. So that World Cup facility is not on the horizon. It's a challenge, and quite honestly, I don't even know where to go and what to do. And you're just speaking about the budget now. It's cut. We don't have infrastructure. We can't ask for government to do that. Now, if you also see that the presidency, the budget was, I think it's something like 125 million to secure investors to come in. So now, how are we going to secure those investors if we can't do it at home already?
If you can secure a little plot too.
And it's not a lot asked. It's in normal economics. It's business principles or ethics that, there's a place, the Khomasdal Stadium, you've been there.
Yes.
It's not in use since 8 to 10 years.
And it's a big facility.
It's a big facility.
Yeah.
8 to 10 years, not being in use. And it costs the city every day, every month. It costs the city money. So now there come fools around and, and say, you know what, we're going to upgrade this facility. And over a period of time, this facility belongs to the city. And in the meantime, they're getting rent through lease. So why wouldn't you do it? Why would it take us more than 5 years to acquire?
No, but what is the blockage?
I don't know.
There's no land in Windhoek?
No, there is land. The contract was signed last year.
Yes.
But we don't have access to the facility. We don't have access to facility at the moment. COVID came in, and yes, that is that is understood that it's a problem. There's people housed on that on the area, so we can't access it, and it doesn't seem like there's a plan for that. We don't know how long that's going to take. So to a certain extent, we're just in the air. So that world-class facility is not going to come now.
Yeah, most probably the people that are dealing with that, maybe they're watching. Maybe they have something to think about as to how they can help.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see and wait.
All right, Colin, on a lighter note, the Brave Warriors are facing Guinea on the 28th.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say, luckily, they are not facing, Chad. Hence, Chad has been, kicked out of the competition, or rather the qualifiers. Yeah. But what do you think are just some of the chances maybe that the players have at the moment?
You know what's so great about this? It's basically like a cup final. You've got one game, 90 minutes, to basically secure, to a certain extent, history, and make yourself also being this icon, personally and as a team. You've got one game, 90 minutes. So I think that's actually really, really a great chance. Yes, like they say in Afrikaans, een man se dood is die ander man se brood. So in this case, we have this chance. Yeah. And I think if you read of the comments, I think Nyambe reiterated how big a chance this is, and that he's sorry that he's rather sad that he can't make it. I think that says it all. It's a huge chance. I think this is beautiful, and I wish the boys good luck, and I think the rest of Namibia is behind them. Okay,
you were also part of the technical team at some point. Yeah. Do you at any time maybe miss that feeling, of being part of the Brave Warriors? And if you look at the current crop of players that we have at the moment, who would you say are just some of your favorites?
No, Limba, you can't put me on the spot like that. I'm still a coach, and yes, of course, you do have a guy that you think, a coach's favorite is more on what you think he's doing in bringing to the team. So there is a couple of them that one can actually call favorites. And I think that's basically the same team that we were training. And it's good guys, it's motivated guys, it's honest guys, it's hard workers. I think, you just hope that they're in a healthy state physically, that they can do the job. And that all things are equal on that day, so they will definitely do the job. And we behind them. I think as Namibians, the soccer has not been going on, so the national teams has been basically our energy, our sun rays. And whether I miss it, I'm a coach, I miss it. But yes, we've got the MTC Hopsol Youth Soccer League, and we keep ourselves busy with that. And I think it's also a great initiative. And we had, 13 boys that was in Morocco, and the 20s were players that was playing in our league. So I think whether it's at the national team level or in a junior level, we're still bringing our part, and I think it's for the greater good of the country of Namibia. Yeah,
speaking about junior players, the introduction of youthful players in the national team, do you think that it happens at a rate that we would like it to happen? Is it fast enough? Would you say you find in Europe players that join a senior team at the age of 15 or at the age of 16? You find in most cases in Africa, if not in Namibia, you find guys that are breaking into the national team at the age of 27.
Yeah, generally. The game is faster and it has become younger. Yeah. So now it's, if you're good enough, you're old enough. But I think what we have to honestly look at is basically the introduction of these players. If you look at the age of our boys now, it's probably an average age of 27, 28. These boys have been coming on for quite some time now. So in normal circumstances, the next year, 2 years, they will start fading out. So normally, if you don't plan correctly, it's when you will have a dump or basically a loss of form because your players that you're looking up to, or the front players, your performers, going downhill because of age. And that's where you normally need 1 or 2 years to integrate these new ones. But you can always integrate it within the system. So I think what the coach did now with the introduction of those 3 players was imminent. And if it was not going to happen, it was travesty. But I think it's all very well, and I think I'm sure he's also thinking towards the future, and I think it's for the greater good of Namibia.
Yeah, thank you so much, Collin, and best of luck with Hopsol, and we hope to see you on the field very soon.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nice having me.
With that, we'll take a break, and then when we get back, we're going to look at what you can expect to see for the upcoming weekend.
How does the process work?
No, thank you. It's been quite a very extensive process, because the process already started in 2017, where all athletes around the world are supposed to qualify for the Paralympic Games. So we are now at the end of the qualifying stage, which the first stage was the World Championship. Then definitely after that is now the ranking. And we are busy with the ranking. We say thank God, at least with the COVID, things were pushed. So we are given 1 more year for us to work very hard in the ranking. So at the moment, so far, we have to work very hard so to make sure that Namibia gets slot. That meaning by slot is that by the end of the qualification stage, the International Paralympic Committee will be giving out slot to different countries, depending on your preparation and the pathway, how you manage to use to give your athlete throughout from 2017 to now 2021. So we are hoping we can get better slots, a bit of a bigger number slot. But so far on our side, what we say is that we are probably Namibia. At the moment, we might get 3 slots, which is, 3 male slot and 2 female slot. That is for athletic, and 1 male slot for swimming. So we are hoping to add more slots. Apart from that, at the end of the qualifying, which is end of April, and at the same time, we hope by that time we can also finalize the team, and we can announce the bigger team which will be representing Namibia at the Paralympic Games.
Okay, so you're saying that if Namibia gets, let's say, 3 slots for men and 2 for women, 1 for swimmer, or whatever the case is, then it comes down to the Namibian National Olympic Committee to make the decision on who will actually go there.
That is how it is exactly, because if we get lesser slot, as I mentioned earlier, then it gives us a bit of disadvantage, because we have then many athletes who are doing time and who are doing the qualifying time, and who are also, who have done the qualifying time for the Olympic. So definitely choosing from the 3 to represent the country to be very, very hard on us. But then we'll just have to take the best ranked athlete at the moment who can really make podium for Namibia, not only for the sake of participation. So that is how basically the final team will be chosen. But it's quite a tricky one, and you also hope that each and every athlete that you are working with could have a chance also to participate. But unfortunately, if the international body decides it's only 3, then we just have to take 3.
Okay, so finally you also mentioned to us that the cutoff time is basically then at the end of April, so which doesn't leave you a lot of competitions for our athletes and opportunities. You said there's only a few of them left.
Yes, unfortunately, the cutoff time is very, very fast approaching. And the few competitions that are left are basically with Athletic Namibia. And maybe if there is fund available, and maybe the Namibian Paralympic Committee might send a team, just a smaller team, to South Africa. Then that is just to do the final touch before we announce now the final team that will be representing Namibia at the Paralympic game. But unfortunately, we don't have much time and there's so much pressure on this athlete, and we encourage all the athletes to make sure that they take part on this competition and make use of the opportunity, because it's the only opportunity that there is there at the moment.
Yeah, so this coming weekend and the Athletics Namibia Grand Prix series, and also that's the only local events that you say that are left basically in this time period.
Yeah, so we are talking about the Grand Prix series, which is now the one, the bigger one is the one which will be on the 27th in Oshakati. Then after that, there will be one in Windhoek. That is also a bigger one within that time frame. And there will be the national game for Athletic Namibia, also in Windhoek. So that is also a sanctioned event for the International Paralympic Committee. So any athlete, I mean, we encourage them to take part in this competition and make use of this opportunity. And hopefully we can now get better time to do better time for qualifying to make sure that they book their seat in this very, very tough team, because there is no more many seats left for these athletes. So this is an opportunity to make sure that they squeeze themselves in this play.
Yes, welcome back to the show. That was Michael Hamukaya from the Namibia Paralympic Committee. He's the Secretary General, just sharing information on the deadline for athletes regarding the Tokyo Olympic Games and of course, the qualifiers as well. Now, with that, we have a special segment every Thursday where we show you what our the Namibian sports stars are up to. Now, with this segment, we have Damian Stevens, Namibian rugby player Damian Stevens, who also featured at the World Cup. Now, let's have a look at what Damian is up to. Yes, that's Damian Steven, just going through the drills with his friend. Damian plays in New Orleans for Nola Gold. More expected from this player, in the future. Now, going into the weekend, we have a hectic lineup of cricket action. We have, the DSTV Premiership. We have the English Premiership as well. Now, looking at the English Premiership, 2 games for this weekend. We have Tottenham, which was last weekend beaten by Arsenal. They will now face Aston Villa, and Arsenal will face West Ham. Now, for this segment, we have a prediction from Joseph Noole. Have a look at this.
It's probably.
Okay. Yeah, we have seemed to lost him at the moment there, but of course we have a hectic lineup. You can watch Kaizer Chiefs, who will play Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates, which features Dion Hotto, Namibia's Dion Hotto, so you can catch him there as well. We have Mamelodi Sundowns, who will play Black Leopards also over the weekend, so you can expect to catch Peter Shalulile with his famous, scoring celebration. And with that, this concludes the show. Please do catch us again next week as we bring you a fresh edition of the Sport Rep Show, the Sport Rep Show rather. And that is all from me, Limba Mupetami. See you again next week.